with them after you've gotten through converting it to YouTube or Vimeo. You want to go back to your My Documents folder, look for a folder called Zoom, and delete that monster file.
Okay, I might ask you to remind me again later,
That's
but
okay.
right now I don't want to keep
That's
anybody
okay.
waiting.
That's okay. I'll make a note. Let's see here. We've got 3 folks, so we know we know what got out.
Okay, so it's Margot, Yvonne, James, and Michael.
And Michael, yes. Okay.
Well, I'll have to figure out what happened with my speaker.
Okay, we've got James, whose phone number is 818-476-6525?
That's me. It's James.
That's you. Okay, all right. So James and James, you're in there twice. So we just need Margot and Yvonne, and we're good to go. Hi, James.
How you doing, bud?
Good, pal.
Yeah, I always call in from my phone because I always listen to it on my AirPods instead of getting the feedback and such. So I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay, Yvonne's here, so we just need
Hi
Margot.
there.
There she is.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, thanks. And first of all, I want to start by apologizing, everyone. I had a little bit of a speaker problem, so you guys would not be able to hear me. I'm glad Mike came to the rescue there. So that's a first, but I'm really sorry about the delay on that.
No worries. So Ronnie, don't forget to start the recording.
Yeah, I already did.
Okay, cool.
I did a little too soon. All righty. Okay. First, I'm going to start with the recording this is for the Robinson Calf Ranch Enrollment 2021. On the phone with us, we have the benefit counselors, DGA Mike McCary, who's also the opener. We have our broker, Michael Reed from Hub International. We also have James Vieira, who is taking care of the ancillary benefits that's going to be provided. And I'm going to have everybody talk a little bit about how this enrollment is going to go. I'm just going to start off with shrinking this down. And I did speak to Margot earlier. So this is going to be a brand new case. And we're going to be doing the Colonial 3 voluntary group products. And we have 3 Unum ancillary products, actually 2 ancillary dental vision and also a voluntary group term life. The enrollment is going to be partially on site and partially via call center. Right now, we have starting Wednesday, the 14th, Margot and Yvonne are going to be doing the on-site enrollments, and we did get a sign-up sheet back from Denise Porter, the plan administrator of the account, today, so that's really great. We have like in 20-minute intervals for both the feedlot and the calf ranch location. So Margot and Yvonne will be going out there starting on Wednesday and finishing up on Thursday. We were just made aware that there's about 9, I think, drivers that were not going to make it to the on-site enrollments. So we're going to set up a call center with Margot on Friday, the 16th, for her to take care of those 9 drivers, as well as any cleanup. And on Monday, the 19th, there's a Chino location. And the Chino location has also about 8 or 9 security guards. And Monica is going to take care of those employees as well. So on-site enrollments is going to be Wednesday and Thursday. And then we have call center on Friday and Monday. Before we go any forward with going over the products briefly, I wanted to introduce Michael again from Hub International. And Michael, this is like kind of the time for us to go over the enrollment guides and the enrollment logistics and products offering in case the benefit counselors have any questions, but also gives us the opportunity for the broker to talk to the benefit counselors if there's anything specific you would like to see us communicate to the employees or anything done or any special notes about the account you want them to know. This would be the time to do that. So Michael, I'm going to give you the floor.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for your time today. It's a new Virgin benefit on the Vol benefits side, and their renewal was in December. So we don't have to address any of that, but I'm sure that you're already aware that we already had open enrollment for the benefits side. So if that comes up at all, just make sure you know that there'll be another opportunity in December. If they want the actual medical side of this equation, they have to wait. Okay, that's really what I have. I think you guys have done a very thorough job in the information and the rollout and what's going to be offered. So it's pretty much Virgin benefits. We're not replacing anything at this time. They have never had ancillary dental, vision, life, any of the additional benefits. So I fully trust your team. It's gone so well with our other ag business that I think you've spelled it all out here, really. So thank you for that and the team effort. I'm pleased that it's finally coming together because we did put a lot of time into this particular group and they're finally on board. So I'm also glad that you got that sign-in sheet. That is something I was going to bring up on this call, but I'm glad you mentioned that, Ronnie. Thank you.
Yeah, Denise came through at the end. She got those 2 sign-up sheets. We're just waiting back for the call center sign-up sheets for Margot. We also were able to get a census, yippee. So Margot, Yvonne, the employees for the most part are all in ease. You're going to be logging in as Colonial Life Enhanced enrollers. The Colonial products obviously are going to are integrated with Harmony and just going to bridge over like normal. The Unum products, we are not bridging over to plain.biz. We're just enrolling on ease. So the Unum benefits have been built out already on ease, and it's going to be sort of like a census enroll. We're just going to provide post reports to Michael and to the carrier on the back end for them to do the enrollment. The only main thing to note, because it's ease, and ease sometimes can be a little finicky at the end, if you finish an employee and you go back for whatever reason, I just ask that you guys, and if you need to, we could talk separately outside of this call to go back to the employee. I just want to make sure that everybody gets a complete finish, because we are making this a mandatory required enrollment for all employees, and I want to be able to track it. And a lot of times we get a lot of in progress on ease, and it doesn't mean that you really didn't finish them. It just means somehow that last step wasn't, done, signed, or clicked on. And if you end up having that happen, there is a way where you can just go back to the benefits, go back to the employee benefits, over to settings, and then you can click on finish. I just want to make sure. So if it doesn't look like it's finished, I'll do a report every day at the end of the day, Michael, so we can check the status. Also, Margot and Yvonne, they're both veterans, so they know to keep me updated if the enrollment's not going smooth or if they're not funneling the people in as they should. but it sounds like they've set the appointments up pretty good, and they're going to have the on-site supervisors kind of act as like air traffic controllers to bring in those employees, and we have those 20-minute time slots. So we would have done a longer slot, but since we weren't doing core, we thought that would probably be a good number for you guys, especially since we know that some people will be very quick and others might take a little bit longer.
Ronnie,
Regarding
Ronnie, just a real quick one. Two quick things. One, our CRM system for everybody else's, Ronnie knows about it. Our CRM system is in the midst of a transition to a new host, and we've been having trouble. And at 4:30, I've got a boogie because our IT person said they're ready. They have everything they need, and this time they promise it's going to work. So at 4:30, I got to jump ship. Second one. When I spoke with Denise during our call, I made the promise that all appointments we would be on time for. So if you find yourself, within 3 or 4 minutes of the end of your time slot with an employee, my request is that you talk to that employee, get them on a schedule for a second meeting, and that way, you can finish with them on a second meeting while being on time with the next person on your schedule.
And we should be able to do that, Mike, because there were a little bit less employees than we initially anticipated. So we still have slots open towards the afternoon. So if that should come up where an employee is asking a lot of really great questions and it's taking longer than necessary, instead of making the next employee wait and then pushing everybody back, just have that employee reschedule at one of the open slots towards, the end of the day.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. And I know we have James on the phone from Unum, and we're doing the dental, vision, and the voluntary group term life. I know James will go over those products briefly with you. I know there is a participation requirement for those products, but the one thing, James, I know you didn't want us to do is make too big a deal out of it with the employees. We don't want to scare them off that we won't hit participation, but I'm going to now give you the floor, James, so you can go over that with the benefit counselors and what you would like to see happen on that front.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think it's important that, for us all here on the call to understand that there are participation requirements, but, I don't think that needs to necessarily be communicated to the employees based off of where we're at and, what they need to do. I think the most important thing in order for participation is that we have a minimum of 10 employees enrolled on each plan. And as long as we have that and the active enrollment and engagement that we have planned here today, underwriting's pretty lenient in terms of getting that approved. So just in terms of what you're talking about, Ronnie, is, if we start getting down to the wire and, there's not the 20% required and we're only at 10 and there's only 5 employees left, I don't want them to think that they can't enroll. We want to make sure to communicate that benefit to all the employees. And just let them know that the coverage, is available. So if there's anything that needs to be retracted or if coverage can't be issued later on, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But the key number for us is going to be that 10 minimum employees.
Anything specific about the products that you want the benefit counselor to take special note on?
If we're going to discuss the benefits, just a few things that I think are really important if we're going through them. Number one, starting with the dental, we do have the $5,000 annual max for this plan, right? So just letting them know that they do have that rich benefit. So that's always nice to have highlighted. Number two on the dental is that does include a carryover benefit as well. So that means on top of the $5,000, they can actually get an increase of more annual maximum. And they simply can do that by having their one exam and cleaning per year. And then as long as Unum doesn't spend over $800 benefit amount, they can roll over $400. So I know it's a little bit of a mouthful, but just note that is available. The rest is pretty straightforward in terms of which services are covered in each class. So I'm not going to lecture everyone here. I'll spare you. But the one thing that I do want to make sure is notated is that we do have orthodontics on this plan. It is for dependent children only, dependent children up to the age of 19, and that also there is a 12-month waiting period on the orthodontics. So again, for everything else in class A, B, and C, or you might know them as preventative, basic, and major, there are no waiting periods. Everyone has access to those services. Only the orthodontics has a 12-month waiting period as it's a virgin buyer. So just want to make sure that that's clear there. Before I jump into the other highlights of the other plans, any questions about the dental or anything that may come up that's a frequent question that I can help address?
I don't have any. This is Margot. No. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks,
And
Margo.
everybody has been provided the SBCs and the flyers for the Unum
Okay, great.
employer benefits.
Awesome. That makes things easier. Sure.
Sometimes on the PPO networks, that does come up. Do the enrollers have access to that? Because, they're like, hey, I don't know if I want to enroll. Is this provider on that list? So is that something they have handy?
Yeah, good question. So you can find in-network providers at unumdentalcare.com. There's only one network name. It's Dentamax plus Always Care. So you won't have to worry about, finding the right network or anything like that. As long as you go to that website, you can navigate to search for any providers. The one thing worth noting is that because it is a PPO plan, that they do have coverage if that provider is not in network. But again, that's going to be reimbursed at a lower amount as comparison to in-network, right? So we always want to help drive them to in-network providers, and that can be found at unumdentalcare.com.
Thank you.
Sure.
And I'll try to get that link also in ease, but write it down just in case.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Ronnie. And if anything else comes up, feel free to interject or let me know if you have any questions. But just in the essence of time, I'll keep moving. For the vision plan, fairly straightforward, right? I think the one thing to note is that it's a 12-12-12 plan. So that means that they do accommodate those services every 12 months. In case an employee asks, or if it does come up, it is a rolling 12 months. And so what that simply means is that if someone gets their services provided on June 1st of 2021, they'll then be eligible for those services again after June 1st of 2022. So again, it's not necessarily per calendar year or per plan year, it's per rolling 12 months. So in case that comes up, I want to notate that. But other than that, exam every 12 months, lenses every 12 months, contacts every 12 months, frames every 12 months. Any questions on the vision? Great. And then for the voluntary life, couple of things to notate here. This is probably the most important piece that we always want to make sure that we highlight to the employees, and that's that Unum has, what we call our buy 10 or forever GI feature. And so what that means is that during this initial open enrollment, anyone that enrolls onto the plan, once they're enrolled, they can increase up to the guarantee issue maximum at any future open enrollment with no medical questions asked. So as long as they buy the minimum $10,000 of coverage, they can increase that all the way up to the guarantee issue amount of $110,000 at any future open enrollment, no medical questions asked. So this is something that is unique to Unum. No other carrier has this feature the way that we do. So we always want to make sure that if an employee is on the fence or considering enrolling, that they at least grab that minimum $10,000. They can always cancel it next month, and that will lock them into the guarantee issue for any future year. But if they waive during this initial open enrollment, then they will be subject to EOI or medical questions for any amount during future enrollments. So I'm just going to pause for a moment there to see if anybody has any questions of how that feature works.
No, but that's a fantastic feature.
Thank you, Margo. I agree.
That's very cool.
I want to add one more thing, you guys. We did build out the life insurance with the AD&D as one plan. So you're not going to have to enroll the base and then the AD&C separate. We're just offering it as a package.
Okay.
Great point. Thank you, Ronnie. And then just on that same note of the voluntary life, so the employee does have $110,000 of guarantee issue. The spouse will have $25,000, and the child will have $10,000. And just like every other carrier, for the child, whether it's 1, 2, 4, 6, or 10, they will pay one rate, one premium, and it will cover all of the kids. The spouse can enroll up to 100% of what the employee elects. in terms of whatever their maximum coverage is. And then the employee themselves, 5 times their annual earnings or $500,000, whichever is lesser, will be the maximum on the voluntary life. Any questions on the voluntary life benefit?
I have a question. So,
Fire away.
if the spouse is gonna do higher than the guarantee issue, at what point, her signature is gonna be needed at what point?
Yeah, good question. So if anyone does need to complete evidence of insurability, that's even if they go over the $110,000 as an employee, we will actually trigger a post-enrollment evidence of insurability. So just intake the enrollment, no matter what the amount is, whether it's under the GI or over the GI, we will process that enrollment, and then we will send out a notification of employees to complete a digital EOI post-enrollment.
But the signature of the spouse is required at what point?
No signature required.
Got it. Thank you.
Of course. And as I think Ronnie mentioned earlier, we're using EASE essentially as the vessel of enrollment, but we'll ultimately be submitting a census enrollment to upload the coverage. So just for that reason, no signatures are necessary. Obviously they want, employees like to have record of those benefit summaries through EASE, but for Unum, in terms of uploading them onto the plan, there won't be any signatures necessary.
Right.
So those are the key pieces I want to make sure that we mentioned. Again, on the dental, in terms of that high annual max, they get the rollover benefit. Deductible is waived for class 1. There's no waiting periods on preventative, basic, and major. And then for orthodontics, there is a 12-month waiting period, and that is only for dependent children up to the age of 19. The vision is a 12-12 plan. One thing I don't think if we specify, but worth mentioning, is that the network is powered through iMed. So if anyone's looking for a vision provider, that will be via iMed Insight Network. And you can go to imedvisioncare.com/Unum if you need to search for providers. And then for the voluntary life, there's that buy 10 feature where if they enroll during this year, they can increase up to the GI maximum at any future year with no EOI. And again, that's $110,000 for the employee, $25,000 for the spouse, and $10,000 for the children. So that's everything that I had that I wanted to make sure that we touched on or emphasized. So if anyone has any follow-up questions, you may always reach out to me at any time. Otherwise, I'll pass the microphone back off.
All right, James, and I'm just going to go over some details real quickly on the Colonial benefits. If you need to jump, thank you so much for your time and being on the call to go over the Unum products.
My absolute pleasure. One thing to note as well is that Patrick McBride, he was not able to make the call today, but he is my client manager. So just if you see Patrick's name, just note that he's on my team. So if anyone here on the call has any questions, myself and Patrick are here at your disposal. So thank you again, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All righty. Quickly, regarding the Colonial products, and this is fantastic, by the way. I'm shocked, but everybody knows that Wayne Hamilton is the best. This group is typically a special market, number 3, risk B. So we would normally not be able to do any on and off the job coverage with the accident. However, we did get approval. So that was not a mistake on my enrollment guides. If you see on and off the job accident, we got it. So it is the on and off version. Second thing that I got approved, which is also this I'm shocked about. I thought they would give me 6 months, but it would normally be a 12-month waiting period for unemployment before they can do the Colonial benefits. I was trying to get them down to 6 months. What I really wanted was first a month after 60 days, and we got it. So I told them that, hey, Unum's doing it. Will you match Unum? And Colonial went for it. So good news. First a month after 60 days, just like Unum and all their other benefits, Home Office is waiving the 12-month waiting period for the Colonial products. Yippee! So I don't know the last time they've done something like that, but the good news is this particular group, I know this year has been kind of weird maybe because of COVID, but Michael has mentioned that their turnover is very low, so Colonial felt comfortable in doing that, and I didn't want to have anybody have any problems where we were able to sell the Unum and not be able to sell the Colonial. So Colonial went ahead, went forward with it, and we are good to go. Does anybody have any questions regarding the Colonial group products? Because I know you guys know that like the back of your hand. So
I wanted to say way to go on getting those underwriting concessions, Ronnie. Thank you.
you're welcome.
No questions.
Not for me.
All righty, so it's just the 3 group products. You know those very well, so I won't go into detail. As far as the Unum products, the flyers and the SBCs that James sent me were really good and actually broke down all that information that he went over. So take a look at those. Let me know if you have any questions. We still have a couple of days. I'm still doing some little tweaks and ease to make it more user-friendly for you guys. I have a test employee in there, but it's actually as a test employee, and I know that if you need me to, I will make it active if you really want to run through a scenario where you can bridge over. But I did test it, and everything seems to be working really fine as far as that goes. Mike, since you're still on the call, I heard your voice. Do you have anything to add?
Only that I'm really excited to have Margot and Yvonne on this case. It's perfect. Margot, you were at Gless Ranch. That was one of Vince's cases, but this is going to be very similar to Gless Ranch. We've got a very cooperative plan administrator to work with, and they've committed to mandatory enrollments, and even to the extent of signing a letter of understanding that we're providing these services and they're providing mandatory working conditions for everybody one-on-one. So I feel very confident that things are going to go the way we have planned. So this should be a nice little case.
Yes, thank you.
Also, do these gals know not to wear their pretty shoes up there?
I kind of do.
Okay,
Oh,
I hope so, because this is more of a cattle ranch. So it's
Business casual. On the
Business
emphasis
casual.
on casual, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so obviously no open-toed shoes, and they're good with jeans, but as long as maybe like the nice top or blouse to go with it. But they're very lax there because of the demographics and the location and stuff. And I know the 2 of you guys will be carpooling on that first day. I'm sure one of you will be dropping one off at the calf ranch and going off to the feedlot, and then meeting back up at the calf ranch. And then the second day, calf ranch, and then Margot, you'll have the 2 days of the call center. And
Yes.
I'm still waiting to get the signups for that. Other than that, I think we've got a really good game plan here. I know that this kind of imploded last month, but it came back, and good job with Mike and Michael on making that happen. But here we go. And Margot, I'll talk to you about Gless. Michael is the same broker for Gless Ranch as Robinson Ranch.
Right.
And we're going to be adding a Colonial product this year.
Excellent.
To help. I'm not sure exactly what everything's going to look like. Michael will talk about that, later on this week, but I did get your emails, and so that'll be the next one to follow up for next month.
Okay.
I have some more insight on the venue for Robinson Calf Ranch.
Okay.
Never mind that. Scratch that thought. Never mind. We will focus on that one, because you started to talk about Gless and we're running.
Okay, we'll save that for the Gless BC Training Call. But other than that, I think we're in good shape. And thank you. Sorry so much about what happened with my Zoom there in the beginning. Best laid plans, right? But if there's any questions between now and Wednesday, let me know. But I think we're good to go.
Okay, and Yvonne and I already have it figured out, so we're good.
yes, we've been talking, so. And thank you for including me.
I'm happy to have your rock stars on the case again too, because
Thank you.
Gless was really pleased, and I was pleased on the way it went and how the whole team managed it. It really came together well. So looking forward to this coming together and finalizing this group as well finally.
Yeah.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, just give me a holler.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Okay, so Ronnie, you need to
Yes.
stop recording.
Give me a second. Let me find that.